weekly DAO call with the Unlock Protocol. Thanks for joining, everybody. And if you're listening into the recording, thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it. We've got some exciting updates to go through, and we have Julian with us this week. So it's great to see his face. And hopefully, if we have any questions or anything for Julian that have been lingering, now would be a great time to bring them up. So hop in the call and share what you've been working on. And yeah, let's get started with the agenda. So we passed our proposal last week for the DAO collaboration funding, the one that we had to redo because we missed quorum last month, but we got it the second time around. So I guess this time, second time was the charm. Yay for us. No current proposals are active right now, so light governance week, but make sure you get on the Discord and get engaged in conversations if you have proposals you'd like to bring forward. I know there's a handful of people that have been working on some, so hopefully we will get that rolling over the next week or two and have something on the governance agenda. Last week we were talking about getting some updates to documentation, and Danny was going to run some experiments and make sure that we figured out what we needed to figure out. And I think there was some progress made on that. I don't know if Danny, are you in a place where you can jump on the mic and give us some updates? Or maybe you and Stella have talked about it. Okay, looks like Danny can't talk. Stella, do you have any insight to share with us?
Not a huge inside scoop. It just when we tried this the last time, it just didn't work. It didn't go through, and this time we understand how it works. So the next step would be to actually suggest restructuring of the docs, the additions to the docs. But I'm also fair warning, because this is not my main job either. This would take a little bit of time to get adjusted, right? But I would try to structure it in portions, and then we can run it through a quick proposal and just get these things implemented now that we know how it works. So we're good on that front, because a lot of things that we have actually implemented in how people, for example, submit social media contributions, how they're being incentivized, none of this is updated on there. And I feel since it's become such a huge portion of what we do, it should definitely be in there, right? Also, like, people keep asking us for grants, right? We don't actually feel like the grants we've given out had a huge impact. Rather, the social media work that Ceci and all of these fantastic contributors have been doing, that has had much more impact into growing. So, and getting more people involved in governance, right? I remember times where there were like 5 people participating in governance. Now we have between 70 and 100. So that is very different numbers than we used to have. So yeah, that's all I can say about this. Is all I can say about this. Okay, don't ask me any further questions.
All right, no further questions, Your Honor. But thanks for the update. Great to know that we can get docs updated. So if you've been engaging in that process or have tried to find information that you haven't been able to find, now is the time to speak up. If there's something in the docs that you wish was better covered, by all means bring it up. If you would like to contribute to improving the docs, then definitely get in touch with the steward team and reach out to somebody. Let us know what you would like to assist with, and we will get Unlock moved, the documentation moved forward to reflect the current state of the project. Because yeah, there are a lot of changes that have kind of played out over time, and it's inevitable. That's how projects grow, right? We try things, we see what works, and we have to be honest. When things aren't working, we have to try something different, right? And the social media stuff is working, so we want to make sure people know how to engage with that. And grants are tough. I think that we went through this whole cycle of grants. A lot of DAOs went through this. It's been a pretty big issue. I know that Stella and I both were pretty heavily invested in the grant ecosystem for a while, and a lot of projects were facing the same problem. How do you measure impact? And then once you figure out how to measure impact, how do you implement that back into the grant process so that you can issue better grants, right? Because it is a collaborative process, this whole grant process. We have to, from the grantor side, we have to make sure that we're setting people up to succeed. And from the grantee side, you have to understand what it is that the project actually needs, so that you make sure that your project is meeting those needs. So yeah, Stella, apparently you have some insight for us on that topic.
No, it's just you hit a nerve there. I think the thing is also that the sentiment, the general sentiment over time has changed, right? When it comes to how grants are being viewed. At first, they were a tool, in my opinion, throughout hackathons and whatnot, to actually get people interested, to learn about something new, figure out by yourself in a way on how you can integrate a new technology to solve some of your existing problems. But at this point, I feel grants have become the only source of money, of income to a certain degree. And I know, in fact, we're not the only ones who have that problem, right? Actually, a majority of projects have. And so I think keeping this up there just instills wrong hope, right? I've gone through several other pages who still have their grant pages up, even though they're not giving out any grants at all anymore. Same as us. And I also think it's more fair, right, to communicate that early on and not just lead people on, have them post something on the GitHub, then be frustrated because someone tells them that's not going to happen either way. Doesn't really make sense. So I think that it's not. I think there's just been a shift of sentiment of sorts in the entire environment. So it's not so much as, oh, this is our fault, that's their fault, or every grant application was off or something like this. Just want to make sure that's also heard.
Yeah, definitely. Having those expectations communicated is a foundational aspect to making these kinds of communities work. And there's a change of season. Like you said, the sentiment across the ecosystem has changed. We are in a totally different environment than we were a few years ago, when grants had more promising impact. And now the entire ecosystem is kind of slowed down a little bit. We're on a little bit more of a long-term focus, and also more of a like product-oriented focus. We have to really emphasize building things and encouraging builders who are bringing in users and actually making something that is useful in today's world. A lot of the things that were useful a few years ago aren't as useful anymore in this ecosystem. And like for Unlock Protocol, we're in a position where we need to really maximize people that are building on Unlock, that are bringing in paid users, selling locks that are paid locks, because that's what generates revenue, builds, traffic on the platform. And that's a challenge across the entire ecosystem. Everybody is facing this new obstacle of onboarding actual users, and not just selling the Web3 ethos, because it's not really popular right now. That narrative isn't selling. It isn't getting people excited. So projects that are shipping something simply on the marketing of, this is a Web3 version of something that you already use, it doesn't bring in users, right? So we have to shift our focus towards this new market opportunity of more practical, real world impact kind of projects that are useful, not because they're on Web3. The blockchain isn't what makes these projects useful. The blockchain is just what makes them efficient and affordable. And that's the shift of the mindset that we have to have now. And so grants don't really necessarily help us in this transition, but things like You Make Us that Anoop is doing helps us tremendously, because it showcases actual real projects that are using Unlock in a way that enables something new for them, that's novel, that isn't just because it's blockchain, but it's actually because it's more affordable, it's more open, it's more decentralized, and that is valuable because of the community and the project. So if you're curious about what this stuff that we're talking about, I encourage you to check out the You Make Us episodes. Give them a watch. They're very enjoyable, very interesting and informative, and it helps to see kind of what are the tangible things that you can do with the Unlock protocol besides just managing a Web3 community. So on that note, DAppCon is a great example. They are utilizing Unlock for their event planning for this year again, so that's exciting. Great to see them, stepping back into the ring and doing something decentralized. Yeah, Julian.
Yeah, and maybe for full transparency, there's a little issue, and it was really because they are actually doing something that is both cool but a bit complicated. They're embedding the checkout on their own UI directly, not using the way that we recommend. They're doing their own way, and I realized this actually broke a small thing, but I ended up fixing that last week. So this is, I think this is all good now. Yeah, so exciting to see them using Unlock, and so I think they'd be a good candidate for for a new pass series here. So yeah, I look forward to that. I've been a bit more present in the last few days on the GitHub repo. Hopefully that's the beginning of a new thing. I don't know. We'll see. Able to kind of free up some time to do some of the work here. Coincidentally, got a ton of spam over the last 24 hours on GitHub, basically by a bunch of people that are, I don't know what they're waiting. Like, is there airdrop something that they're waiting? I don't know. So I'm gonna have to clean a bunch of that mess. But yeah, my goal is to, let's say, end of June, have cleaned up a lot of the pending pull requests and using agents for some of that. But yeah, clean up a bunch of things, deploy a bunch of small stuff, improvement that have been in the pipeline for a while, finish the work on the governance side, things like that.
Yeah, Stella.
Yeah, actually, this brings me to Thibaut's EAS integration. Did you have a chance to look into that?
That's one of the things that I need to look at. Yeah,
okay,
I saw that as like there's a V2 as well. I don't know if you've seen, but I don't think it's in. There's actually no, it's an ENS V2 universal router. Somebody submitted an upgrade that I need to look at more closely to understand. And it's DIWAT 10. I don't know. I don't think it's whoever is Devrel at ANS right now. Open that one. So I'll look into this. Yes.
I do know that handle. I don't right now recall who it is, but the handle sounds familiar. No, Thibaut had just asked me last week to ask you, and since you were very sick, I didn't want to poke you about that. But now that you're here, I was like, okay, I cannot forget to ask you about this. So I would tell him you're on it. That
yes,
sounds
please.
good.
Yes,
we'll do that.
Yeah, and I think that Jilt was it Jilt that was talking about? Yeah, she wanted to do some GitHub stuff too. So for all the people in the community that have been asking about engaging on GitHub, it sounds like Julian is putting some effort and attention to the GitHub page over the next month. So make sure that you now's the opportunity to catch his attention, get in there, communicate, find out what you can work on, and then let's get some stuff rolling. Sounds exciting to get GitHub cleaned up a little bit. Always an uphill battle facing spam. It is the way of the modern world. I'm sure with the advances of AI, spam only gets more and more prevalent. So it is a constant muck to wade through. But we do have contributors that are excited about actually contributing real, development work. So glad to hear that there's some potential coordination available to happen there in the next month or so. So if you've been asking about it, now's the window of opportunity. Jump in there and connect with Julian and find out what you should be prioritizing. Let's see, what else do we have on the agenda? Oh, so next up we have some Metopia updates from CC maybe. I don't know, you mentioned that you had a call maybe today. I'm not sure if you have any updates to share with us at this point.
Yeah, sure. GA to everyone. I had a call with Casey Ring. She's from Metopia's team, and we discussed first the whole wrap up of season 1 for the campaign, which it was a real success. They also loved the engagement of people with the protocol and obviously Metopia. And seeing the numbers, like the real numbers through the whole campaign, which it was really good. And now they are also very willing to work on the second season and potentially the third season. And for this, they suggested some things which we already discussed on the marketing call last week, and they agreed with what we considered it was going to be better for the campaign, which it was a more focused tracks for each audience. So let's say a developer guide, a DAO focus guide, a creative or creator guide. So we can like guide people into the right track without overwhelming them with the whole content. Yeah. So after that, we consider that this is going to work. They also suggested a new program that they have, which is a loyalty program, which I find it interesting because it could give us the opportunity to have a clear view on the individual wallets that are using Unlock in a very continuous way, and also they could give like an on-chain badge for a reputation badge for that. So that could also give us like analytic data of which wallets are using what kind of smart contract and all that stuff, which could also help us incentivizing people to do so, to continue building and all that. So basically, what we agreed is they are going to discuss internally about the budget that we suggested and the timeframes, and they are going to reply us with a counter proposal. Hopefully, they accept our budget. If not, maybe we may need to do some adjustments. But I think this is going to go in a right way. So let's wait on their answer and see what we can do. If everything goes right, sorry, on June, mid this June, we could be launching that second campaign.
Awesome. Exciting. Thanks for that update. Glad to hear that things have progressed well. Hopefully, they appreciate the budget proposal that we have for them. And yeah, starting in June sounds good. It's great to, I love the idea of reputation. I've always been a huge fan of bringing reputation on chain. I think that it's a significant step forward for a decentralized community to have that. Something that we've talked about in a couple of the calls recently with Regis, identifying some of the pain points of token-based, one token, one vote governance without reputation data. It can open up some security vulnerabilities for, internal things within a DAO. Capture vectors and all that kind of stuff. And I think that I've always felt that reputation is the first step towards addressing that kind of gaping hole that nobody's really been able to solve in the blockchain ecosystem yet. And so it's great to hear that Metopia is cooking up a solution for that so that we don't have to homebrew it ourselves. It takes the load off of us. Hopefully it fits in nicely. Would be cool if they would use Unlock for their on-chain reputation system, but we'll see what they come up with. So thanks for that update. Good stuff. On that note, we also have a similar update from Stella about the incented campaign. There's some progress being made there, a few changes too. So she's gonna kind of walk us through some of that, so people kind of know what to expect in the coming I don't know, weeks, month, whatever time frame it is. Stella will let us know. Go ahead.
Let me see. Can you guys see my screen? Yes. Hello. Okay, cool. So yeah, I guess we don't need that. So this is our profile on Incented now. We have our own little dashboard, and Sven has actually built this in a way where we can like completely independently launch our own campaigns. In how things have been developing, especially on social media in the last few months, Sven and I have a little bit drawn up a conclusion that it might be wiser to limit the campaign volume to 3 campaigns instead of 10, and make it extend the number of weeks for submission period, and make sure we do also some personal outreach to get high quality submissions. So a little bit of the program has shifted. If someone feels very wronged about this, please reach out to me. If not, don't. Just don't. So let me show you how this looks like right now. So as you can see, every program can have its own banner according, for example, to a topic. So the first topic is what is unlock, right? That's the big deal. I will outline this obviously much further. But in that sense, you know, the reward token has increased to 30,000 up. So if you're voting and you're not voting to favor anyone, but actually vote on high quality submissions, then you will be fine. If you vote on your best friend submission, then you will probably have a problem, and part of your staked risk gets slashed from you. So you don't want to go there, right? So make sure once we go into voting period, which will be done with up tokens, and it will be done after the 6 weeks of submission period are over. And then it's 2 weeks to vote, so we can announce it during 2 DAO calls, which makes this, in my opinion, quite feasible. And yeah, and then, you know, we can say, okay, it takes 60 days, right? This takes, it's a public program, so anyone can participate. We can add some program links. So if we want to add, you know, explainer videos, if we want to add the brand guidelines, if we want to add whatnot, right? This is how we can do it. Then the next part shows you essentially which network this is supposed to happen on. Then the award pool to people who actually, you know, participate is 600 USDC, which I think is a pretty nice piggy pool. And we're going to do this with a split proportional. And the split proportional will be based on quorum-based voting. So meaning, yeah, quality submissions will obviously receive much more funds, right, than non-quality submissions. Is the idea. Slash percentage is currently set to 10, and quorum percentage currently set to 51. And yeah,
can I ask a question real quick on that? So
sure.
That means that in order for somebody to win the USDC, their submission has to have at least 51% approval.
Yes.
And the split proportional means that of all of the submissions that have greater than 51% approval, it will proportionally split the USDC between those winners.
Very much correct.
Based on how much they actually, like the number of votes that they actually got.
Yeah, proportionally. Yes, correct.
Okay, cool.
Sure. Yes. No, good. You're filtering this out this way so we can make sure it's understood. Also, before Stacey gets to chime in, Julian, please look in the side chat. I had one more note for you. Thank you. Okay, Stacey, go ahead.
So yeah, just to clarify for people, could you please explain how could the incentive site could understand that you are a friend of someone else and you're voting for that friend? So how it could identify that? And slash you or not?
Yeah, so it can obviously not identify if you and I are friends, right? What it can identify though is arbitrary voting, meaning, you know, I just vote for your submission not because it's good, but because I'm your friend, right? So that means that I favor a certain submission not because of its high quality, what other people would probably favor, right? But they will favor it because they know that person or they want to support that person. So to calm that idea down, right? Incentive has the carrot and stick mechanism that Sven explained in pretty good detail in one of our calls that allows the system to essentially slash you, basically give you the whip, right? If you're not voting because you're voting for the highest quality submission, but you're voting because, for example, you're favoring yourself, right? Even though your submission is not great. So if Jonathan would go in there, would submit something, and maybe all of us would vote for Gosman and not Jonathan, but Jonathan would vote for himself, then he would get whipped, slashed, right? So it's just trying to control a little bit how people vote. We want people in the Unlock community to vote on high quality submissions that actually communicate what we want, right? Like, what is Unlock? So if you make a video about Anupa's You Make Us series, it's great, but it's probably not gonna get a lot of votes because this was about explaining Unlock protocol, for example, right? Does that help? Thumbs up.
And one more question: is voting blind, or is voting?
Let me go and see what I selected. Program visibility is there. Show votes. I have put it on stats only. So meaning stats only means that only show stats, but hide who voted and how they voted.
So
no
show
one
the
is
number of
exposed.
votes that have been put in, but it won't show the direction of those votes until it closes.
No, it will show the direction of votes. Only show stats, yeah. But
Well,
hide who voted and how.
But how do they vote? Like, isn't that which direction they voted? Isn't that the directional component?
No, it says hide who voted and how. So meaning it will not show your name or your wallet, right? And it will not show how. You're right. Sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that kind of plays into the whole. That's for preventing the popularity contest. So if you see a submission that has a bunch of votes, then you're gonna a bunch of positive votes, then you're gonna be inclined to vote for them simply because you think they're gonna win. But in this case, all you're gonna be able to see is that somebody voted, but you're not gonna be able to see if they liked it or they didn't like it. And the goal is for everyone to be self-critical, right? Like, actually pick what you think is good based on what the definition of the goal was.
Yeah.
And if we all are playing that same game, right, then it should come out to the best quality submissions win, and the people who just kind of voted for themselves or voted for somebody that's a friend of theirs but it wasn't very good, they're going to get slashed. But everyone who actually votes on quality, I mean, quality is subjective, so there might be some disagreement. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But at the end of the day, the consensus of quality is what we're going for. What does everyone agree is the highest quality that fits the goal of the program?
Very true. Yeah, so anyways, this is how this is going to look like. I still have to implement. I finally have my wallet connected here. So now I'm ready to implement these things to get that done. I think what I want to do is I want to be able to review before payouts are done, just to make sure all the information is still correct. I've had this with several other instances in other communities where people's wallets got hacked in the meantime, or they lost control over their wallet, and then the funds went out because it was automated, and then they did not get any funds. So learning from that, I think it would be nice to have a manual review step before sending those funds. So that part is unless you demand something different, I would not do the automated sending of the funds. But yeah, that's basically how this works. I think it's pretty neat, and I will spend a good portion of the rest of today to put this program into just full guidelines and not copy paste what I had in a proposal. Anyways, that is that from me, and I just saw Julian's comment. So Julian, I will forward you what he had sent to me talking about Andrew. Andrew had this idea of integrating this payment management tool or financing budgeting management tool that he built for himself for Unlock into the governance platform, if there's space for it or an option for it. And he sent me a few things, so I'm forwarding those now to Julian. Okay.
Nice. That sounds interesting. I like the sounds of that. having budget and treasury management kind of stuff integrated right into the governance page, I think makes a lot of sense, just from the transparency perspective. Helpful to have access to the right information when you're making decisions. If you need to approve, a proposal that's asking for funds, having the treasury, clearly laid out right there in the same place would be helpful. So curious to see what direction that goes. Thanks for bringing that up, Stella, and Andrew for building something cool. Always great to hear community members home brewing something useful, right? That's kind of what we're all doing here, right? Is trying to figure out how to make useful stuff. I'm just filling in the time now because that was the end of the agenda. We didn't have any community updates from anybody this week. But if you are working on a community project, by all means, please reach out to me, get your update on the agenda. Looking forward to hearing from some of our longstanding community projects and seeing where they are at. So hopefully they hear this call out and join us on the next call or two and share some updates on how their projects are going. I know that several of the people here have some projects that they are working on that don't necessarily have an update right now, but everybody's always staying busy. Anybody else have any topics they want to bring up since we have a little bit of time left in the call before we end early? Looks like Danny's got some updates for T-Rex next week. Awesome. Excited to hear that. I've been wondering how things have been going on your side. So thanks for letting us know that you got updates brewing next week. Gives a little teaser for people to get excited about. Cece.
Hey, thanks. Not an update from my side specifically, but I just wanted to ask if, and especially Danny, because of this Metopia campaign and the tracks that we would be sorting out in the guides for developers, for DAO, DAO themes, and also creators. In specifically the DAO, we thought because we usually have raffles with Metopia, that basically the raffle goes for people that have accumulated some XP through the campaign, and with that XP they have to go and buy some app tokens and to enter into the raffle. So with that, I was thinking if it would be good to also direct this kind of activities through P2E Inferno, as is already a protocol and a project that is built with Unlock. And maybe that could also give us the opportunity for new users for that project, but also seeing how the DeFi activities with the token and the pools that you have built already. So just wondering if that could be a good case to also propose to Metopia.
Awesome. Great suggestion. Love to see some inter-project collaboration potential there. Sounds like Danny said in the chat that he's interested. So that sounds great. Would love to see it. Thanks for bringing that forward.
Okay. We'll let you know then once they have some answers from their side about their 2-hour budget and all that thing. Then we can know if this also could be something that they can integrate. But I think they are. They said that it could be also a really good way to incentivize people to go into DeFi too.
Very cool. Stella.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea, by the way. No, just wanted to quickly update. I will meet, I think, Karel maybe end of this week to get the Phoenix Gate app. Oh, yeah, you missed out on this, Julian. Last week was the demo with the burner thing. So We're trying to figure out how to upload it to Play Store, to the Google Play Store and to the App Store. But with some luck, we can get this done this week. We need to write up some privacy policy stuff to do that. Like a lot of admin stuff you just have to go through. But looking like we can actually do it this week, and we'll obviously keep you posted. So I haven't yet reached out to the guys, the AMP guys, or the the burner guys, because I was like, well, if we can do it this week, then I rather surprise them with some official download links and get them to try this out, right? Over just saying like, oh, we kind of have it now. So yeah, keeping you posted.
Excellent. Well, sounds like lots of stuff is cooking as usual. The Unlock community is a busy little beehive of activity. So love to hear all the updates. Thanks everybody for joining in the call this week and sharing your updates and participating in the joy that is the Unlock community. Yeah, that's all we got for this week. So we'll let you guys go a little bit early. Enjoy the extra time that you get back for your week, and make sure that you chime in next week and bring some more interesting updates to keep us all titillated. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Triggs.